I apologize. I was supposed to hand out cards, and I totally forgot about it. So we're going to have to wing it.
My cards are in the back, so we'll just wing
Don't worry about it. But we are in a time constraint for the room, and obviously with this many people, we're kind of uncomfortable. So we are going to ask you to please keep these short. All right,
okay.
Roseanne?
Do we have some questions here? Yes?
Hi.
Would you identify yourself, please?
Yes, Colleen O'Day.
Oh, hi.
From New Jersey Spotlight. Before you get to Bob Menendez, you got to go through Joe Carrillo.
Yes, ma'am.
How do you see that playing?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, there's three things I need to differentiate Joe Carrillo's, myself from Joe Carrillo's. Joe Carrillo's is an entrenched establishment, 20-year career politician. I am not. I am a citizen representative. That's one big difference between us. As a 20-year career politician, Carrillo's is a part of New Jersey's problem. He cannot possibly be a part of Washington's solution. And I also have an immigration reform plan that has been well received by Republicans and leaders in the Latino community. I can beat Menendez. Carrillo's cannot. Three key differences between us. Thank you.
State your name, please.
You mentioned 6 terms, I think, for the House and 2 terms for the Senate.
Yes, ma'am.
6 for the House?
Good question. The Senate goes on a 6-year. The Senate is 6 years, and when they run for 6 years. So 2 terms would be equal to 12 years. The House is only 2-year terms. So when they run 6, that's also equivalent to 12 years. They can go run for president. They can go back to their states, run for governor. But I believe 12 years is more than enough. Yeah. Let's get some fresh blood in there, and let's come up with solutions. Because when they're so busy trying to run for re-election, they're making deals that are not in your interest nor mine.
That's right. Yeah.
We have time for a few more questions, but we have to make it quick. Anyone else? No? No more questions? Okay. Oh, yes, Raleigh?
The media is a problem, as far as I'm concerned, because they're totally backing this government. And anybody that's got principle, anybody that's looking for the truth, they're going to slam. And, you know, how do you circumvent that? Any ideas?
Yeah, I believe the best thing I could do is be on message. Let people know the difference between myself and Carrillo's, and I believe by differentiating myself from Carrillo's and myself from Menendez, the message will get out to the people, and the people really dictate what we want to hear. And when calls go into radio stations, TV stations, when calls come to our website, because we're going to broadcast this also on our website, BQ 2012. So we're trying to be a grassroots campaign. We're not an establishment campaign. Now, I know for a fact that the establishment has their man. I am not it. But you know something? That's okay with me. That's okay with me. Because we saw what the career politicians have done to the state and to this nation. They can't possibly be the same people to solve its problems.
That's right. That's good.
Also, I'd like to add to that, we have a sign-up sheet in the back for your emails, and we would very much appreciate if you're interested to hear what this campaign is doing, to sign our email list, because that will be one way that we are able to keep communications going. We will not have the money that Menendez has. This is an expensive state for media. We will do it another way.
Yes, good.
We also have campaign signs here, and we have a lot of the palm cards that we encourage you to give out. We also would love, if you haven't signed the petitions in the back, to please do so. If you're interested in circulating a petition, we would appreciate that as well. We have 1,000 signatures to get, and because they discredit many of them, we are anticipating that we will need about 1,500. We want to be sure that Bader gets on the ballot. And is that about it? Yeah.
Yeah. Let me just briefly.
Oh, also, they do have, there is a place for you to make donations in the back. You have to sign a sheet, and we would like you to have a meet and greet at your house if at all possible. As I said, this is a grassroots campaign. We need to get them in front of as many people as possible. And also, if you sign the petition or if you circulate the petition, you need to be a registered Republican who can vote in the primary. If you are not, and you would still like to sign, but you're not affiliated, we have sheets where you could sign up to become an affiliated Republican, and we will take care of all the paperwork for you. And after the primary, if you want to switch back, that's fine, but this is just for the primary. And you can only sign one petition for U.S. Senate. If you've signed for Joe Carrillos or anyone else, you cannot. We ask that you do not sign this one. Thank you.
Some people have said to me, as far as donation, times are tough and they cannot contribute. And I can totally understand that. More important than money, although don't get me wrong, $10, $100, whatever a person could afford, it will be very well spent for this campaign. I try very hard to be a good steward of your contributions. But more important than money, in all honesty and truth, is your prayers. Keep us in your prayers. This will not be easy, and I've asked our pastor, who was good enough to be here today, and I'm abundantly grateful. I've asked our pastor to pray over my family, because I know we're going to be receiving incoming darts, arrows. So it's very important that if, I've decided to run with the support of my wife. I certainly would not have done it without her, but my children are innocent in all this. I would hate to have, the other side or enemy of whatever it may be. So I just ask you, please, to keep the family in your prayers. And keep the campaign in your prayer. If not financial, if you can't do financial, thank you so much. But if not financial, at minimum, your prayers. Thank you. Any questions? That's it? I think I saw. We're good? Sir?
What are the signatures all due by? Is there a date?
Yeah, I believe it's, what month are we in? January, March, April 5th? The first week of April?
The first week of April,
I've got a question.
Yes, sir.
I had trouble getting through the website whenever I dialed it in.
Yes. Yeah, we're having an issue with Google because the website used to be called, it's still actually called both names, BGQ, the number 4NJ.com. And then people have told us that's a little hard to say, BGQ, the number 4NJ.com. So we simplified it by also calling it BQ 2012. So Google needs about 30 to 60 days in order to marry both names into one website. So if you type it into the top bar, not on Google, some people are doing it on Google and not getting anywhere. Type it into the very top, whatever that's called, the URL at the very top. You type in BQ 2012, it'll take you to the BGQ. Okay, we'll have to look into that, that's for sure. But that's what I understand, that Google is trying to marry the two. It takes about 30 days to do that. But thank you for bringing that to our attention. We'll keep looking at it.
And you're still
The ball.
welcoming
Home parties?
Home parties?
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that's the easy. It's the hardest way, but the easiest way to actually meet people, hand to hand, flesh touch, eye to eye contact, and to answer people's questions is in these house parties where they can invite 6, 10, 15 people. I come over with some literature and I answer their specific questions. They may have a question about education. They may have a question about Israel. They may have a question about their issues that are important to whomever's in that audience. And it's important for me to make that eye contact, to hear, and then for me to speak on their specific issue. So absolutely, if anyone wants to host a party, again, you can do it through the website, or you can speak to anyone with the Bader's Brigade sticker on. Yes, sir.
When we get positions signed for you, in other words, businesses and other counties as well.
Yes, sir.
How do we get them to you?
If you take them, you contact, we'll give you a phone number, you can contact us. Before you hand them in, you have to take them to a notary public to get notarized. Because you have to actually swear, affirm that you have collected these signatures and you saw whomever was signing was the individual. But yeah, you can collect signatures and give them back to us through a phone number we'll give you.
The library will notarize free.
Thank you. Yeah, the library and the county, in the old Shelby's building, the county clerk's office, they also have a notary that is also for free. Thank you. Any other questions?
Can you talk a little bit about the economy, taxes, because that seems to be on everybody's mind. John.
Absolutely, absolutely. On our website, BQ 2012. I'm not sure if you heard it. Let me see. At BQ 2012, at our website, we have an issues section that's all lays out, I believe, 12 different issues that I mentioned. I believe what we need to be focused on is jobs. You're absolutely right in that. This administration, and Menendez going along with this administration, spent 2 years jamming the unconstitutional health care bill. I don't know why they call it the affordable health care bill, because it certainly did not bring any prices down. But let's just say the unconstitutional health care bill, they spent 2 years jamming it down our throat rather than creating or finding ways to create jobs. All we really need is a fair and even playing field. Our corporations in the United States are at a disadvantage to other companies around the world. So I believe we need to lower the corporate tax rate to make our companies be able to compete with foreign nations. We also have $2 trillion that our American companies have in overseas bank accounts. They don't want to bring it back to the United States because they don't want to spend that 35% tax. So let's let them repatriate that money tax-free, because it's not doing us any good now anyway. So let them repatriate it tax-free, as long as maybe we can put a condition that they spend 5% of the amount on new hires and or infrastructure improvements. There's ways to do this, but we got to start working on it, not spend 2 years wasting time on an unconstitutional bill that the Supreme Court is more likely than not to turn. So we certainly could also create, thank you, the Keystone XL pipeline. I don't know, I'm not the smartest man in the room, I know that, but I know enough to know that that can create anywhere from 15 to 25,000 jobs. When we're looking for jobs, 15 to 25,000 jobs is a pretty good amount of jobs. So I have no idea why we're not doing this. That's easy enough to do, to allow that Keystone XL pipeline.
I have heard, and I'm not sure it's exactly connected, but I suspect it is, that there's huge ecology concerns that go with the, like the Delaware, something like that has the drilling for oil in those areas. And while I want us to be as independent for energy as possible, I'm also one who's out there hiking and running and biking. I want it to be a safe environment too.
I am with you on that.
I don't want to give my kids a toxic waste dump.
No.
Just put gas in my car.
Yeah.
So how do we get a good balance on that?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. We need to make sure that we're environmentally protective of the land that our parents have handed to us, that is, that we're to be stewards of for the next generation. But I do not believe a pipeline is, is a toxic waste of any sort. But listen, we're the country that walked on the moon. We're the country that is exploring outer space. We're the country that has, perfected many of the sciences. We're recipients of more peace prizes and in science and Nobel prizes than any other nation in the world. We can certainly do this. We just haven't tried hard enough. And I believe, I don't underestimate the American people. I truly believe that we can do it. We can solve any problem if we put our minds to it. It's hard to lift people up when you're constantly putting them down. This administration needs to understand that you cannot lift people up when you're putting them down. We need to lift the American people, and we can meet any challenge. We just got to work on it.